now. She's preparing it.
I'm sorry, not now.
Yeah, I'm not going through that until I actually.
You have to. You've got to go in
Off you
there,
go,
mate.
Marshall.
You've got a pair of shoes on. You'll be fine. Where are they starting from?
There.
I'm just going to stand here and listen for him blowing his horn.
So we are now live, boys and girls, at the Beast race down in Body Hub, race 7 of the Men's Elite series. And you have got me, Alan, aka Muddy Duck. Will, how are you?
Good morning. I'm good, thank you. All good. Ready for this race?
Look, excited, mate. Excited for this, I am. And we have got Claire Rosser on camera at this moment in time, and we're going to have Ross as well. So we've got a few, and they're off. Oh, they're off. A little bit shocked in that one.
Wow. That's pretty quick, wasn't it?
Brilliant team and go
Guys,
through.
there's a huge great ditch in the middle, and I'm not going through that until I have trail shoes on. But we'll see if we can see him come in the other side, which I think I might be able to.
Yeah, there for a while.
So, Will, while they're there, I'm going to put my screen on because we'll wait until we come back with some video in there. But they were off. So in this wave, Will, we have got Dan Titcombe, Russell Walsh, Finlay Greenleaf, Darren Martin, Chris Shipley.
No, Finn has been moved to the later wave.
Oh, Finn's not in this one. Oh, look, he's currently 4th in the standings as well, Will. So it'd have been great to see him racing against the top ones.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Liam Moreau, Andy Bright, and Oliver Addy, I believe. What's your thoughts, Will?
Well, I guess let's start at the beginning. This is 7th race in the UK OCR series. We actually have 2 of the top. We've got Daniel Titcombe and Russell Walsh in this. This is 6K, isn't it? So 2 laps of Body Hub. And I've just looked at the rule book. 20 obstacles, I think there is, in 23 obstacles. So that's quite hardcore because it all come to the last part of the course. So this is going to be really interesting. I know they're off running, what is it, a mile, 2 miles before they get over back here. But no, I mean, the first wave is really interesting. We've got a couple of the top. We've got Finlay, unfortunately, I think he's a bit late, isn't he? So he's running in the next wave. But what we talk about on Who's Hot is that there's no easy points. And in a way, I think because this race is very different, there might be some easy points for some of the top contenders, especially Masters, because a lot of people are also away over Worlds. What do you think, Alan?
Oh, 100%. You know, when you look at the Masters in there, we've got no Dassos, no James Burton. You know, I mean, we've got some great races in the Masters race. Unfortunately, we're not going to cover it, but we've got Ramunas, Ryan Ibbotson, Simon Briggs, Billy Stubbs, John Poole, Hayden Andrews, Andrew Wakeling, Stuart Canning, Adam Wakeling. It is, like I say, it's a potential for easier points. Not easy points, but easier points there.
I think the difference today, though, is that this is a really different course to what we see. So it's only 2 lanes wide. They're just coming back through one. I don't know if you can see him in the distance, but it's all going to be about who gets in first, because it doesn't matter how quick you are across the obstacles. If the lanes are filled, you're not going to be able to overtake. It's very, very tight inside that course. So it makes it super different to anything we've seen before. I don't know if you can see at the moment. So they're just coming back up. So you've got Dan Titcombe and then Russ. And then my eyes are not good enough to say who's in third. It might be Darren Martin. I'm not sure. It's all changing. So Ramsey's just come up into third. So that for me is the key thing about this course. It's totally different to any other race in the fact that it is all about who gets in there first. And they had a slight change last night. So they're going out on a 1 lap run. And then it's 2 laps with the obstacles, and the obstacles, as you said, Will, are all together. So it's very different to what we normally see.
Wow,
absolutely, and that's what we've been talking about in on Who's Hot, and also before we started recording. This race is so different. This race is so different from any other race within the UK OCR series, and because of the Worlds, because of championships, I think people have decided maybe not to come because it's right outside their wheelhouse. Rather than kind of just not wanting to be, and maybe they just don't feel that they're going to be competing in this because it's so different. And absolutely, tactics will play a large part when there's only the 2 lanes, and you've got to get on. And also, in a way, if they're on a rigs, could you get on as someone's getting off and potentially kind of put them off a little bit? You know, there's lots of things that could happen in this race. It's really interesting.
I mean, you saw them just come in there. They're super close together. Dan and Russ at the front, but there's not a lot of room between the whole pack. So it will be interesting once we get round. Hopefully they'll be appearing on the obstacles now. There we go. There's Ross.
Just seen there as well that Ramonis has moved up into this wave as well. For me, that could be a bit of a dark horse in this wave because we all know how strong Ramonis is upper body wise. You know, could he potentially sneak some places up in this wave?
If he can get past people on the obstacles.
Yes.
Now remember, there's no obstacles in this lap apart from the mandatories. Apart from the ones that take up the full course. So things like the tyre wall, they will go over the tyre wall. Where are they? I'm just trying to figure out where they're actually going. Here we go. Right. Because it's all obviously in such a small space. You're like, which way are they actually going?
Okay, so it looks like Russell's just taken the lead on Dan.
Yep. And then we've got Darren in third, Ramsey fourth, Shipley fifth, Ollie sixth.
It's good to see your counterpart out there, Will, running.
Yeah.
Well,
whilst we're talking, of course, about Chris out there, of course, our old partner, Mark Dixon, he won Sea to Summit yesterday with just over 5 hours, something like that. Absolutely ridiculous pace to get up and over Ben Nevis. So well done to Mark. He's still hot, of course.
Yeah, he's absolutely flying, Mark, in the trail sections and that. And wasn't you doing an ultra yesterday as well? Have I been told that you was doing an ultra run yesterday?
I did do an ultra around the Peak District. I did the 33 miles race, but also saw Sean Merriweather, which many obstacle people will know from Tough Mudder. He won the 50-mile race yesterday, so well done to Sean too.
Wow. Are we right in saying you're only Claire or Ross, that they are just running past the obstacles then on this first lap?
Yep, that's correct. So only the ones that take up the full lane are they actually going over.
Okay.
So some fantastic coverage we can see here, but I'll give you a quick list of all the obstacles. So we've got Cargo Net Carry, Cargo Net 2, Blue Hay Bales, Tyre Pit, Parallel Bars with Ninja Rings, Parallel Bars, Ninja Rings, Moguls, Z-Wall, Cage Core, Three Walls, Olympus, Leicester Fours, Tyre Hop, Balance Beam, Tyre Pull, Seesaw, Goliath Rig, which are 4 parts of spinning wheels, firefighters, mixed holes and swinging bars. That's going to be hard. Slip Wall, Samson Ring, which is...
Olympus and Parallel Bars are out.
Right.
I'm stuck in some bramble.
Samson Rig is 3 parts. Monkey Bars, Rope Traverse, Low Rig, then a Carry, Vault Jump, Tie Crunch, Under Over. And as you can see from the recordings here, they're all just going to be so packed. This is, never mind being redlined of trying to sprint and get to the front, but then it's obstacle after obstacle after obstacle. So definitely a different type of race, as we've said many times, especially to the one that we've just seen, race 6, which was Spartan, very much as everyone says, runner's race. And of course Tough Mudder, which is the last race of the season in October, is very flat with very few obstacles, a lot of running in between. So this is very much a very different obstacle race that we see compared to the rest of the UK OCR series.
So that's the first lap done. They've just headed back out over the ditch to go and run around the field again. And then on the next one, we'll see them going over the obstacles.
Nice one. That was it was good to see the obstacles there. I guess they get to see a taste of them as well, Will. We don't see that in a race, do we? Without, normally running past obstacles, so they get to see what's coming up. It's like I say, it's a whole different race. They are going to see the obstacles as well, because great for spectators. How many spectators are there, Claire?
Quite a few.
People that are running later on, but there's probably about 30 people in the middle.
Oh,
yeah, some over there as well.
Yeah, there's a fair number of people here, which is nice. And because it's so small, you can shout across all the obstacles and shout encouragement, etc. You haven't got to be moving around too much.
Yeah, that's quite good. I like the fact that, I guess if we'd have seen them a little bit closer to the waves, we might have actually got more people there. Yeah,
for a spectator location, it's brilliant because you can see so much.
And we don't get to see that at very many venues at all, do we? Like the actual spectator element of thing. Unless we're watching a 100-meter or a 3K course, Nuts have got a good spectator area for the 3K course. But again, you know, you've got to be a little bit fast to get round some of it, haven't you?
So I can just see the back of them now heading down the field. They've gone under the net. So it's a net on the way out, net on the way back. And then I would imagine it'll be a couple of minutes and we will see one of them coming back around the corner. I can certainly spot Ramsey. He's got a bright orange hat on today, so we can keep an eye on where he is quite easily.
Did I see
Really
Oliver taking over into 4th place as it was coming out of it as well?
Pass.
Was it Oliver?
I would think I was watching my feet and not the athletes.
I think
trying not to fall over before I get on course today.
Yeah, I think Ramsey, Ollie, Shipley, and someone else were all very, very close together.
Cool. We'll like it when it's close together in that race. Well, while we're talking about that,
out on the field, you can't really open your legs out. You know, you've got the nets breaking it up. You kind of go in and out some trees a little bit further down. Hang on, let's flip my camera back on. So over here, there we go. You go in and out of these trees. So there's not anywhere that you can, for people like Dan and Russ, where, you know, they're very quick on the run, they can't really open their legs. That's a horrible phrase. Oh God, it's a Sunday morning as well. So they, you know, they haven't got that point like you often have at Spartan, where you've got that 1K 1 mile run out where you can actually get some power in and get a lead out. Can't really do that here.
Yeah, the run's not far enough either, is it? It's like I say, it's very short. It's, you know, you're off and you're there.
I think it's about 700 meters outside of the actual obstacle course, so it really isn't a long run. Yeah,
that's not great. And Will, while they're out running, let's quickly talk about the women that are in today's race.
Yes,
we've got Claire Bancroft, Claire Rosser, who's filming now and hopefully go out later, Emily Bonney, Emma Kirkwood, Emma McCree, and Carnio Casales, Laura Haywood, Nicola Gillespie, Ruth Battersea, Shyla Haney, Tamar Barkley, and Wendy Brothers. So quite a good field, 12 runners in total.
I think that's a fantastic field, and again, some that you'd normally see in the UKOC aren't around. We had our guest presenter Tamar Barkley come on. She's done this course and she's practiced here quite a lot, so I think she's probably going to be definitely in that top 3. Shyla, as we all know, has kind of gone from strength to strength over the past couple of seasons, so she's definitely be up there as well. So it's going to be really, really interesting to, you know, it's a shame that it's starting so much later, and unfortunately you and I have got things to do this afternoon. Otherwise this would have been a great race to watch. I honestly think that this is going to be, the female race would be more interesting than the male race.
So I don't know if you can see this. So Russ has actually got about a 70-meter lead on Darren Martin, followed by Shipley, and then Daniel Tick comes in 4th. So I don't know what's happened out there. My guess would be that Dan has possibly taken a tumble somewhere. Good job, Russ.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's a big change, that, isn't it?
So yeah, Dan's just taken over Darren.
So of course we've got Russ and Dan, who are first and second in the UK OCR series, and they're here just to aim to keep people pushed down. You know, there's talk about strategies as well, and you've got to be turning up, maybe not to get the points, but actually ensuring that others aren't getting those points. So, you know, when you've got Chris and Darren who really are fighting for points, the better you can do against them, then of course the fewer points that they can get and gain on the rest of the pack. But Chris is further down. He's only done two races so far this season, so he will definitely push himself up. Ramunas has got a really good chance of pushing himself up, and so is Liam Morrow. So this is really interesting to put overall for the for the series.
This run seems to have shaken things up a little bit completely. You know, we've seen big gaps now after this run.
Yeah, I'm really surprised at that. That's not what I expected to see. There's a big gap again between Ramsey and Ollie. Yeah, I mean, like I said, it looks like it's quite tight and twisty out there, but didn't expect to see these gaps as they came back through.
No, I was expecting to see them much, much closer. You know, coming into the final section, you know, I mean, he said he was in 4th place. He's made up a few places there. He's back into 2nd, but it's a good distance behind Russell Walsh.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you know, obviously knowing Dan relatively well, I would assume he must have taken a bit of a stack in the woods, which also would not be unlike Dan. So it'll be interesting to see when they go out, because obviously they've still got another run loop to do. How will that change things?
Yeah. I'll go back on video.
Yeah, all the runners are through. I'm just heading back up to some obstacles.
So this is the second loop of the obstacle course. Again, just got to do the mandatory obstacles that take up the whole width, and then they're going back out for a third
No,
loop.
this is all obstacles. All obstacles on this loop.
All obstacles. Oh, even
all
better.
Obstacles.
So Ross, is that Russell in lead still?
Yeah, Russell in lead. Quite a big gap. Not anyone really close behind him at the minute.
I saw this obstacle that Daryl's built. Oh,
wow.
Go on, Russ, be careful on that. I don't want to slip.
My feet on the wall.
Huh?
My feet on the wall.
Your feet on the wall?
No.
I thought it was feet on the wall.
No.
Feet on the wall?
I've been told no.
Well
done, Ollie. This is it now.
Okay.
Come on.
Whoa.
So Danny Tickham's just coming over the wall behind.
So it looks like Russell got a penalty there.
So yeah,
debate
Russell got
over
a
whether
penalty for putting his foot on the orange.
Oh,
Yes,
right.
not on the wall.
Yeah, you can. He can do that. He can put his
Oh,
foot there.
that's all right. Ignore it. Ignore that.
Oh,
Ignore it.
Head Judge Jane there steps
You
in.
can use that. It was just a thingy point.
just go.
So
Yeah.
Just put your foot down
Keep
and
going,
go.
Russ. Keep going, Russ. Put it behind your mind.
ignore it. All right. Stay in the blue. Stay in the blue. That's it.
Remember, control that speed coming down. Don't go full pelt.
So this is
Dan.
obstacle
That's it. Go,
15
go,
of
go,
the
go.
23. But as you can see, it's just obstacle after obstacle. So you're redlining, running to here, and then clearly keeping your red line just going through this stack of obstacles.
So it looks like we've got 2.5 obstacle lead over Dan. Wonder if Dan's conserving a bit of energy here, Will, to chase him down, or?
I think it's about being careful. There's Chris and Darren head to head.
Yeah.
Again, who's hot favorite? Becky. Her one of her favorites is the balance beam, which is a very different skill, isn't it?
Yes. You've got no use with me on balance beams. So we've now got looks like Russell going through the firefighters. That's on your right hand screen, folks.
I've not had a chance to go on the firefighters yet. It's a new obstacle, and I've not been to a race with one in yet. It looks fun, quite technical as well.
Yeah, same here. It looks like so much fun.
So Chris is actually catching Dan up there.
Yeah.
So I think Ramsey also had a cut on his leg. So it might be a case that those foresty areas are a bit more technical than people think.
Well, look at this. I think we can see from Claire's that you got Darren on the firefighters just behind Dan as well now. So it's really closing the gap.
Very much so. I'm glad to see that Darren's got a Rumble vest on, so we know the difference between him and Chris Shipley as well, because as you know, I get them confused. If anyone's listening to the podcast, they'll know that.
Darren's the better looking one, we know that.
Well done.
Is it a point of keeping a clean race at this point now, do you think, Will? The positions are very much settled. As Claire said earlier on, there's only 2 lanes. So keep your position, make sure it's a clean race.
Oh, well, that's interesting, isn't it? Because of course the penalties, it's quite a harsh penalty. Didn't Dow say it was like a 400 or 500 meter penalty lap or something? So you've got to keep it clean, but there's got to be a way that you've got to try and keep pushing.
Let's go, Ollie.
Yeah, I think it's about 350 meters.
That's a lot, isn't it?
That's a big penalty.
So yeah, I think you're right, Alan. I think it's going to come down to penalties.
Yeah. So it's all very much all about the clean race now. This is, I don't think we've never had a race that we're penalties could make such a big difference on such a technical course.
No, Ollie, come on.
Well, I think it's going through Chris Shipley's head at this moment in time. Will, you know him a little bit better than me. You know, he's very, very close to Dan. I don't think he's been this close to Dan in a race in a long time.
Definitely not. I think obviously science is what's going through his head at this moment in time, because we all know he's the doctor. Look, they're both of them just taking a little bit of time then before getting back on. Great thoughts that, oh wow, you see Ramsey's just taken Darren there as well now.
This is Ramsey's wheelhouse, isn't it? You know,
Yeah.
This is
They all look gassed though. Even Ramsey,
Yeah.
they all look gassed. You know, this is heavy obstacles back to back to back to back. We're only on the first lap, so none of them look comfortable.
Apart from Russell, who's just flying right now, isn't he?
Is that running on adrenaline? Do you think that, you know, is in first place? And he's got a really good lead. He's just got to be in his head. He's going to be really just concentrating on clean race. You know,
Absolutely. But I think because he's kind of so far in front, or he's got no one around him, he doesn't have that pressure of thinking, shit, I really have to stay clean. I really have to, you know, maybe go before you're really ready, because we've just seen on Claire's feed that there was all taking a moment because they're so gassed. But Russell doesn't quite have that same pressure, so he can take a breather and go when he's ready, and he doesn't have anyone right on his tail. So, you know, that comes with, you know, a bit of an advantage there as well. But, you know, those four together, Dan, Chris, Ramsey and Darren, they're all so close together. They're going to start to make some mistakes possibly, or just try and take something out when they're possibly not quite ready, and that's when the mistakes will happen.
Well, Dan and Chris just went into the time angle as Russ was going out on his third lap. So I'd say they're probably 90 seconds behind Russ.
Wow.
There's a big gap there. Ramsey's now taking a good lead over Darren. So it's currently Russ, Dan, Chris right on his tail, Ramsey not far behind, and then Darren's a little bit behind now.
Yeah, Ramsey a matter of seconds behind Chris and Dan.
Yeah, Ramsey's technique there going over those walls was very laboured though. You know, basically rolling over them. We saw the front runners going over and leaping them. It was very laboured as he went over.
Claire, who's that taking a moment there?
Yeah, I'll sort that.
I don't know.
Just put a line straight through.
Come on, Darren.
So that's Darren Martin of Rumble Racing, and of course Accountability Corner. And we all know that he's making that transition from Spartan racer, because, you know, we follow the story, but he's been a Spartan racer, wanting to become more of an obstacle racer. So, you know, you can see why he's just dropping back. He's not used to this amount of obstacling compared to, you know, the Spartan race, or even as we've said many times already, very different race to any of the UK OCR series as well.
Very much so.
Right up Ramsey's street. This.
Oh yeah, this should play to Ramsey's hands big time. If he can catch them up, you know, get into the mix between either in front of Dan or in front of Chris, I think he's got a chance of getting second. You know, if he can get in front of one of them and get in third place, so he's got to clean obstacles, I think he can get into third. But is he fast enough on that running section to actually overtake one of them? I'm not sure he is, and that's where
I don't think Ramsey's got that. Not on the running. It's the obstacles absolutely that he can take, but I just don't see that he can take Chris or Dan on a running section.
No, and that's part that worries me, that he's going to be now stuck in fourth. Where if he can just get that gap on one of them, just take one of them. It doesn't matter which one, just to give him a clear obstacle. I think he can push and maybe even take second. But yeah, you're right, Claire. I don't think he has got that pace on the running sections to get there.
But he has got the brute strength and stamina on the obstacles.
Yes.
You know, back to back that the others don't really train for. he does train for that.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Who are we following on Russ's feed? Does anyone know?
I don't think
So-
we
Gone
know.
through the walls.
So I do believe this is not Liam, is it?
Andy Bright. Is it?
I don't know.
I
But
wasn't sure if it was
that's
Ollie
all
just coming round on
the
the run. Come on, Ollie.
all the competitors gone round now.
So we're back out on the run now. And this could be a fast run. It could decide it. This. You think
It's going
Dan's
to have
going
to be, I think.
Dan's going to push himself on this run, Claire?
I don't know. I mean, they all looked so gassed coming out of the obstacles. You know, it's not, again, 700 meters is not a lot of time to get the recovery from the obstacles and then hit the pedal again. So I honestly, I don't know.
I think if he wants to win, he's got to, because this is, you know, one of his
Absolutely.
parts, isn't it? You know, we know he's good on obstacles, but he's absolutely phenomenal at running. His
I mean,
pace
Russ is also a phenomenal runner. His obstacles have improved massively since we first saw him a couple of years ago at Total Warrior. But again, for him, how's he going to cope with having to go in and doing that second round of obstacle heavy?
Yeah.
Dan's probably got, you know, he's got that in him. Has Russ? I think that's probably the bigger decider now, and coming down to penalties.
Yeah, you know, Dan's got a lot of experience, like you mentioned, and also that experience, it comes down to technique as well and saving little bits of energy here and there, doesn't it? You know, I remember like early doors, you know, we used to climb ropes just using his arms, and then all of a sudden, like, let's use the J hook and things like that just to save that little bit of energy. Throughout time, obstacle proficiency has took on a whole new level. When I was speaking to Tommy Matthews, the 100-meter athlete, you know, he was talking about actually just inches on grabbing a hold in a certain place can knock seconds or minutes off your time. And at this level, you know, that's what we're talking about, isn't it? Minute
Yeah,
details.
no, absolutely. Obstacle efficiency. Right, Russ is is back out now. He's just going under the net. Nobody else in view as yet. So that's a good 50-meter gap between the where you come out behind the cars and then under the net.
This is so what we're saying then at this moment in time, unless Russ makes a big mistake or gets a penalty, we think it's his race.
Unless if he can get through those obstacles clean, then
and he's got the time to take his time as well, hasn't he? So he's definitely got it. For him, it's for him to lose now rather than for anyone to try and win.
Yeah, absolutely. There's still nobody through.
Yeah, that's a lot of time to be able to take a bit of a breather, or you know, just take a second or take a moment that they need just to get going. It's looking so fresh.
There is still nobody through. So whoever is in second is a good 2 minutes behind Russ.
Oh wow, he's made it even the gap even bigger then, which is phenomenal.
Okay, and it's Chris Shipley. Chris Shipley in second.
Interesting.
I'm a bit clueless as to what's going on today, if I'm honest. And Ramsey in third, Dan in fourth.
Oh,
now that is interesting. You know, we were talking about Dan, the better runner out of them normally.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on.
If he's taken a fall and injured himself, Claire, we could be in. You know, this could be the reason. Not why.
Might be that, but the possibly is that I think Ramsey and Chris are probably more obstacle proficient across a range of obstacles, and so Dan maybe gassed himself to try and keep in front and just didn't quite have it, and tried to take a bit of recovery on the run. We all know, as we said many times, that Ramsey is so good on this long set of obstacles, so maybe he just wasn't quite as gassed getting through those obstacles, which allowed him
Dan's
to
now moved into third. He's just taken Ramsey on the run.
Catch up Ramsey. So close though.
It's still very, very close, isn't it?
But they do. I mean, they all, apart from Russ, everybody is looking gassed, and there's nobody through on the other side again yet. So there's a good 2 minute gap again between Ramsey and whoever's in fifth.
Shipley's just come in second, about a minute and a half after Russell.
Yeah, it's very close. Russell's looking very strong, very, very good on them.
He just needs to keep it clean now. That's it. Like you said, it's his to lose.
Yeah. It looks like Dan just there. I just saw in the background there that Dan looked like he put a little bit of space between him and Ramunas. So he's probably pushing up to try and catch Shipley, I would have thought.
Thinking about it though, Claire, you just said his to lose and try and be clean. He's probably now got time for one penalty. 300 meters is a lot, but if he's 90 seconds, 2 minutes out, that's enough time to make a mistake now.
Yeah,
I'm sure
absolutely.
that's not in his head. Not in his head, but there is.
I think this is just throwing people because it's not. There are no real run sections in this race. What other event do we see that in? None. Dan is catching on Shipley.
So this time Russell's not even touching that orange thing. He's not taking the chance.
Come on, Dan.
See if we can get him going down the slide.
See him just looking at his arm there. I wonder if he's grazed his arm or something.
Yeah, Ross, I can just see on the other side has gone down the slide, so he's 4 or 5 obstacles ahead.
He's definitely more deliberate now, isn't he? You can tell that part of it obviously is being gassed, but he's definitely being more deliberate. That obstacle, the balance beam, he probably could have taken that a little bit quicker, but he doesn't need to.
Yeah, he's really taking his time into just making sure he's getting everything done. He'll have looked back and said, "Yeah, I've got a good lead. I just need to make it clean and secure now." And that's all he's going to do. He's just try and make it clean. The downside is when you go a little bit too slow, or I found this when you're going a little bit too slow, is you lose a little bit of concentration sometimes. So you can actually make it easier to actually make a mistake. So fingers crossed he doesn't take it too easy and do that.
So that's Chris Olympus using the block.
Chris, Dan and Ramsey all on Olympus at the same time.
Oh, was that Dan just taking him?
Yeah,
on
Dan.
Place?
Oh, Ramsey's just overtaken Chris as well.
Ow.
Incredibly close this.
Yeah, it's neck and neck. Ramsey's just taken Dan.
Yep.
I think he took Dan by surprise then, because Dan was walking to the next to the slide, wasn't he? And then Ramsey just zoomed past.
Ramsey took 2 places in one obstacle there, didn't he, on Olympus? Between Olympus and the slide.
Wow.
Well done, Ramsey. Well done. Well done.
You've got Russell making easy work of the firefighters there. He's got a little rig to go.
Yeah, but as you can see, look, he's taking a moment, and then he looked back to see how much time he had.
Yeah.
So he's definitely just.
Oh, got penalties. Come off. Oh.
Some of the walls. I didn't manage to get
Oh, we said that about a little bit of concentration there, didn't we, Will? That you take it a little bit too easy, you got it in the bag, and
Come on, got this. Let's go.
you normally have expected him to make easy work of that.
Definitely.
So even talked about Ramunas being obstacle proficient, is not pulling away from Dan Titcombe, is he?
Not so far, but I think he's inching away though.
Yeah, Dan just took a little extended break there. However, does look like he might be catching up again.
Yeah.
Wow.
This is taking a lot out of him, isn't it?
This is such a good race.
Once again, Dan taking a break.
Yeah, I mean, we talk about Ramunas and his obstacle strength there. This is exactly where it comes in. A rig of this length, He doesn't take the breaks. He just goes from one to the next, to the next, to the next.
He's definitely
Gotta catch up with Russell.
Dan's just taking a break. Yeah, Dan's taking a break there, and so Ramunas is gone. I'm assuming Ramunas is gone.
Remember, touchdown on the blue.
That's it. Yeah, fine.
Oh, Russell looks knackered.
Look
now.
at,
Like a train to
yeah.
Wow.
So this is the low rig. There's a bit of a turn in this one. I've noticed they've got to make a turn.
Yeah.
If your arms are hurting at this point,
Russell skipping a couple of the attachments.
Oh.
He's got a pen.
Hi, Ed.
Ramsey's just come into the low rig.
Ramsey's caught right up.
Dan's just about to start the monkey bars.
I think that's
So
now
we-
2 penalties for us, isn't it?
Yeah,
I
that's
think so.
two that we can see. That Claire.
Yeah, I
I'll be
believe
over
that's
there
now
anyway.
2 penalties for us.
Yeah. And don't think
Look at the
Ramsey's
upper body
got a
strength
penalty
there.
yet.
Look at the upper body strength there on Ramsey's. He's just holding it, smiling away.
There we go. Well done, Ramsey.
Wow. So Ramsey could win this. I don't think he's got any penalties.
The last couple of obstacles coming out. And Russell's got 2.
What a result that would be for Ramsey.
That
Wow.
would be amazing.
Yeah, good job.
I don't have my spreadsheet with me, but I'm pretty sure that Chris suggested that Ramsey might do well and be in the Who's Hot top 3.
I think with his obstacle proficiency and his strength, I think we all thought he could be up there on the podium. Did we think he was going to be first? I didn't think his running ability would get him there, but it obviously has. He's kept up, hasn't he? He's worked well.
Russell's just about to start his 2 penalties. Ramsey's coming into the final obstacle. It's going to be very
So Dan just on the check run, Chris right on his tail.
So it's whether Russell can keep for second place, possibly even third place with the 2 penalties.
and Ramsey
Come on,
through
Dan.
to the finish.
Push, push, push.
Oh, so that's a win for Ramsey, I was saying.
Amazing.
Win for Ramsey.
It's a win for Ramsey.
Yeah.
Hey, come on.
So that's Russell's 2 laps done.
Run, go.
That looks like
Ah, so not
Russ-
350 metres on the kick then.
no, it wasn't quite 350. That was it. Oh,
Wow.
second place there.
Come on. Everything out there. Come on, mate. Go. This is it now.
That's
Come on.
amazing. What a win for
What a
Ramsey there.
win.
That's big scalps taken.
Dan and Chris Shipley just coming into the final obstacle, pretty close together, but I think Dan's going to take it.
Do we know if any of these have got any bans on them?
Dan's got no penalties.
No.
Well, Chris. And Chris is straight through as well.
Oh, well done.
Amazing.
Well done, mate.
There's your top 4 is Ramunas, Russell Walsh, Dan Titcombe, and Chris Shipley. Looks like Darren there's just picked a penalty up.
Put the camera in Chris's face, get an interview.
Well
Russ.
done, Chris.
Well done.
Ross, can you get some words from Ramsey?
Have you got any words or are you still breathing?
Amazing course, man. Amazing course. Let's run more obstacles.
There we go. Less run, more obstacles.
Right, man.
Give me a big
Man,
well
I
done.
really
Come
need to push hard on the right. But I know there's no space in it anymore. Nah.
UKSCR says well done.
Well done, baby.
This is-
Russell, how'd you find it?
Absolutely amazing course. That really good course. Very dense with obstacles in there, so very on funky. Of course, I got two penalties. Made a mistake on one, but Rib definitely went on the second one there. So, but fantastic course.
Brilliant. No, well done. How'd you find the dense obstacles compared to less running?
Very challenging. Even the running's hard as well. So get your heart rate up, and then the carry at the top of the hill just burns your forearm. So when you come in, your forearm's really taxing and trying to do all that. great obstacles. Not too technical, but when it's at bends, you don't want them too technical. But really good.
Yeah, brilliant.
One of the best courses I've done so far.
Yeah, amazing. Great feedback. Thank you very much.
Ross, can we just grab Dan for a second and ask him what happened on his second run lap?
Yes, we'll do.
Because he went from first to fourth, and we're all wondering.
Hey, Dan,
following Darren.
Quick moment, if that's all right, for UKOCR. Can you explain what happened during the first run? You went from first to second, third.
No, so yeah, when I first run, just feeling missing myself because wanted to try to heart rate down to get to the carry. Didn't got to the carry, like Russ just absolutely holding it. Like, it was nothing.
Just Russ having a very fast carry.
Yeah, and then I knew that if I was going to keep up, I'd burn out, so I backed up a bit, just tried to stay free. That was my main focus, just to not penalty.
Yeah,
which I did.
Well done. How do you find the course in terms of less running, more obstacles?
Yes, it's not my thing.
Not your thing?
Not my thing.
Prefer the longer distance?
I'm the long course champion for it.
No, well done.
Ramsey set up.
Ramsey set up. No, well done, guys. Good racing.
So I think this is Darren just coming in to finish.
I think Darren's got a couple of penalties on him. Am I right in thinking that? I've seen him come off at least once, Will.
I'm not sure how many, but certainly has some. We do need to remember as well that there is a second wave to this event. I was just thinking, so we've got Finn and a few others in the second wave, which obviously then all the times will be combined. So,
yes,
you know, this course could suit Finn, particularly when they're, you know, it's going to be a little bit more challenging because I think the faster runners were here, but as we've seen, faster running is not the answer to this course. So, you know, we could see some changes in the positions when we see that second wave go.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I completely agree. It's going to be a lot closer race, this second one.
We've also got Ryan in that second wave, Ryan Ibbotson. And he's very strong on the obstacles. Particularly with the stuff he's been doing with high rocks, etc. He's got a lot of sustained strength and stamina. Yeah. So it could be interesting to see what happens in that second wave. Okay, that's one penalty for Darren.
So just to cover off the second wave, the starters, we've got Ryan Ibbotson, Simon Briggs, Billy Stubbs, John Paul, Hayden Andrews, Andrew Wakeling, Adam Wakeling, Stuart Canning, and Finlay Greenleaf, who I think he was just a little bit late, wasn't he, for the first wave? So he's gone into the second wave. But as you say, Claire, anything can happen. The second wave with different obstacles can go and take some times, but definitely a chance for some to pick up some really good points. Ramunas will definitely have pushed forward in the Masters because, of course, Das, Alex and James are away in Costa Rica at the moment. I know Chris will have pushed himself up because he's only done two races. Liam, I think, had only done 2 races. So this is a good chance to get pushed up the league. But again, with Russell and Dan as well, it was a chance for them to ensure that they're pushing people down.
Definitely will. Just to give everyone an update, we may lose connection
next
shortly.
Next race 10:30, so we've got a bit of a break,
Because
guys.
we have got a
just
Sunday storm happening here. So if we lose connection, I'm going to apologise right now, guys and girls. Did everyone get that?
So we've got Ollie just coming through the rig. Look, actually, he's looking really fresh. He's looking good on these obstacles. Firefighters next.
So this is Ollie. He was doing quite well early on. So, talked a bit earlier on about Finlay there, Claire. I'm in agreement there that Finlay training very much down at Rumble Fitness. He's worked a lot on his obstacles recently, and he's also got the speed in the run. So has he got the stamina, though, at such a young age?
I think that's what we're seeing with Ollie at the moment, that he's great obstacler, but I think at the moment still growing, still becoming strong, still having, growing the endurance that You know, he's unfortunately fallen a bit behind, but you can see next few years he's definitely going to be up there. As you know, Finley's made that transition over the past couple of years to start to work with the elites now as well.
Definitely.
Good job, Ollie.
Third obstacle from the end for Ollie?
No, he's still got a few more. He's got the monkey bars and the low ring, short carry, couple of the mandatory ones, and then he's at the finish.
Yeah, that was obstacle 17.
Obstacle proficient still. It's making monkey bars look very easy this far in the race.
Yeah.
That's it.
I'd have been well gassed by now.
I have to agree there. I'm sure I would have got the second lap. I actually had a go at the Beast course earlier this year when we was down at the awards, and I've got to admit, you know, I took the old Beast course on, and it was, you know, it was tough. But this, what Darrell's done down there, is phenomenal. This is a championship course.
It's an evil course, and I think it's thrown everyone because people aren't used to running this type of course. But I mean, I was saying when I was on mute, unbeknown to me, that we were training with Ollie last weekend, and you know, his obstacle proficiency is second to none. But you can also see that he's used to those, you know, the shorter, the 100-meter courses. He's not used to the distance and the run.
Yeah.
His obstacles are fantastic.
And we saw that just there, Claire, on that obstacle, the way he was spinning from one to the other and using very much the hold that the climbers use, you know, to put one leg over the arm while they're moving, which was great.
Yeah, he's been doing a huge amount with Jack down at Field Fit. And yeah, I mean, his obstacle proficiency is second to none, but you could also see in the training when he went out with Dan on a training run, that's where he needs to improve if he wants to compete in these races.
Yeah.
But we've got to remember, he's not even 16 yet. No, he is 16, isn't he? Yes. But
yes.
He's got a long way to come. He's got a long way to and a lot of time to actually build on that training and build on that running speed. In a couple of years' time, who knows what we're going to see.
And this is great, isn't it? When we've got athletes like this, you know, in the men's we've got Oliver, we've got Finley. In the women's we've got a whole bunch of top quality, you know, young women coming through that are going to really challenge, you know, in 3 and 4 years' time, when they've built up that little bit more endurance and a little bit more experience. I think we've got world champions there.
Oh, absolutely. You've got Libby, you've got Izzy, you've got Emmy, you've got there's loads of them that are coming up. And you know, the difference is that when we were learning OCR a few years ago, we were learning it as adults with fear. These guys are learning it with no fear, and that's Ollie with a clean race. Importantly, he has got the clean race.
Yeah.
So that's us done. Yeah. That's the last one over the line. I think
we
have one withdrawal. So yeah, that wave is all done and dusted.
And just before my set goes, we've made it to the end. Claire, Ross, thank you for joining us. Will, last thoughts?
That was so exciting. What a race. And as I've said many times, very different from the rest of the UK OCR series. And what a win for Ramsey, taking some big scalps, but we all knew it was sort of more down his wheelhouse than the others. And it's come to be. So yeah, Ramsey, absolutely fantastic. Well done, mate.
Fantastic. All our watchers, thank you for watching. Sorry we're not going to be fetching you the waves today, but we have got things that we have got to do, you know, and I'm going to go and get wet very shortly in this thunderstorm. But thank you, Claire. Thank you, Ross. Much appreciated. And thank you for everyone for watching. Stay safe, everyone.
See you later.